Hey guys, my name's Adam Broussard. I'm the owner of Solid Ground Sober Living. And so there was a few questions that we were going over, and I just thought it would be a good video to shoot to answer exactly a few of these questions. And so why did I get into sober living? To kind of go back throughout my life, I've got friends and family that have struggled with sobriety. And so when I was presented with this opportunity last year by a few guys and Justin in particularly, I thought, man, this is probably the right time to do it. I own investment properties, and I understand residential real estate pretty well. I'm a licensed broker, and I flip houses, and I own rental houses and all these things. So it really made sense to go in that direction. And so when I started understanding our ability to help people, that really was overwhelming to me as far as what we're supposed to do with people in our community that need help. And so I went down a rabbit hole, just to say that this long thought process of how do we help people, moving people in, does that make sense? How do we create an environment to help these guys? And I resulted leaning back on my faith and what I've learned through my faith of just, showing another person love and giving them a good environment to be in, and giving them opportunities and resources that can help them better themselves. And so once again, when Justin came in and described what his idea was, and my mindset of already considering and thinking how to do these things, it was what we both felt as God was calling us to do this together. I've seen people, unfortunately, pass away, and even here recently, of friends and family pass away from struggling with sobriety, that, I jumped fully on board on doing it, and I needed the right person to really run the house and run the program and facilitate everything that's really involved with this. And so, to kind of give you a backstory of why this type of house is better than a rental house, we're really only helping out one family in a rental house, which family need help. And we're only deriving income from one or two people that are working inside the house, and they pay you once a month. Where with the sober living house, these guys pay by the week, and they're paying for their shared room space and the shared house space, and we cover a lot of the expenses when it comes to utilities and the cleaning products and the beds and all these other things. So we get a higher amount of rent per month, and we're getting it by the week versus by the month. And so from an investment perspective, I know that if somebody can't pay, it's going to happen sooner than later of me being aware of that, and meaning I can minimize my problems if I know, like, hey, this guy didn't pay this week, what's going on? And we can focus in and say, what's happening with this person? Not to try to kick anybody out or anything of that nature, but it's definitely, how do you focus on somebody struggling faster? And this reveals itself by people and the way they pay. Along with that, some of the hiccups that come along with owning a sober living house, and is that people, this is the rabbit hole I was just mentioning of, the people that are living in there, when you find out their inability to pay, is that they may not be able to keep employment. And so one of the biggest jobs we did was find places that would hire people that are going through sobriety, which is not a big deal, but also people with felonies, people that have things on their record that possibly could prohibit them from being employed in some random places. And so I felt, to help the people living inside and create a good environment where I truly believe that if you have a job and you go into it every day, you look at life a little bit different because you have money in your pocket, you're able to live life and buy the food you need. When you're struggling, and a lot of these guys are already coming to our house, they're already struggling, they hit bottom, they're sober now, and they're either coming from jail or a treatment center, that they really need that hand on finding jobs, getting an ID, getting a cell phone. And so what I take for granted as the day-to-day things that I do is some of those tasks that I don't ever have to worry about, like having a cell phone and having food and all those kind of things. So really kind of focusing in on like, man, there's problems out there that I don't even look at as problems anymore. And so in getting tripped up over things of that nature, along with figuring out the software it takes to collect people's income, have the ability to reach out to us and all this kind of stuff, because now you're managing a household of not just 2 people or 5 people or a family or whatever, but we're talking about 8 to 10 people at a time, which is people moving in and out, so all those led to just kind of figuring out all these systems that we have so far. And by no means are we perfect, but we're striving to continue to help, which leads us always through the questions of what's the best way to help the guys in the house. And first and foremost, if we bring God into the household by helping them go to church and speaking about God, we've noticed, because in my life I've noticed that it has helped me totally change my mindset, which has allowed me to change the way that I think, which allowed me to change the way that I act. And so these guys that are living in here, they need, where do you start to change that? Well, do you know and you have a faith life, and so we start with that and kind of go lean right into it by, hey, do you want to go to church and participate? Justin's got a nice big bus that he takes men to his church twice a week, and he doesn't just pick them up from our 2 houses, he brings from other houses as well. And so when you start off your life rooted in faith, then you can grow faster, meaning you care more about helping other people. You care more about like, hey, how do we find these guys jobs without them suffering too much through that? But in the same sense, how do you help them by giving them a chore list and keeping up their room, making their beds, and going to work and holding their feet to the fire? And all those things are just basic things that people take for granted. I take for granted at times. But it does really develop a person into a better productive person in the world that is going to turn around and help other people. And I kind of look at it from a butterfly effect. All these guys have a sphere of influence from their families and friends, their spouses and kids, that if they turn out to the man that they want to be, by us helping them out, then they are in turn bringing that into their household. And the biggest win for us is they successfully move on from our house and develop families and become active members of society and don't even look at doing any drugs or alcohol or anything like that. And so that's ultimately the end goal, and that's kind of the best way so far we've seen to help them. So we'll have more as time goes on, more lessons that we've learned, and so we look forward to kind of giving you updates as time goes on. to share more of this whole learning this experience we call the sober living side. So a lot of people has asked us how can we help with donations, stuff like that. So we did open up a donation, and you can look into YouTube and also on our Facebook, Solid Ground Sober Living, a place for you to donate. It goes directly to the guys, where it offsets if they owe any money or anything of that nature, and supplies the but it does help out the guys directly. And so check us out on Facebook and also on YouTube, and just check back next week for more updates. Have a great day.